Hello there everyone, future feature film director, the Rookie Critic here, and a lot of people are talking about the new Zelda movie that's currently being made right now after some photos of the actor and actress playing Link and Zelda were released, and there is also a lot of people that are not happy that Hunter Schafer did not get cast to play as Princess Zelda. Now, as a person interested in film, this could make for an interesting conversation depending on what we look at maybe, but before we get into that, I'm just going to let you guys know that I did not grow up playing too much of the Zelda games. I did play some of Ocarina of Time on the N64 when I was younger, but honestly, I don't even think I ever finished that game. I did have fun, but just didn't fully catch me at the time. Maybe I'll play some of the newer ones eventually, but I don't have the systems, so that's why I don't play them currently. And I did always play, Link was one of the main guys I would switch to every now and then whenever I'd play a Super Smash Bros. Game, so that's pretty much my history with it. So the official casting for the character of Princess Zelda goes to Bo Bragson, of which I haven't seen anything that she's in, but I will be watching this movie to see how that goes in general. Curious to see how they handle Link, a silent character for the most part, so that's my main interest in watching this movie, but I think it makes sense that they cast this person anyway. They must have thought that she's the best person for the role. They probably had auditions, and she won the auditions, would be my guess. Now, a lot of people feel that Hunter Schafer was shafted from this, that, deserved the role, and they should have been cast if they looked the part. They think that they visually looked the part and should have gotten the role for that and have representation or something, but what's funny is that Hunter never auditioned for the role. At most, I think, said that it'd be cool to be cast or something, but, that's about it. This whole idea that they had the option to have Hunter and that they just shoved them aside and got this actress instead, which again, it makes sense to have, if you're having a female character, to have a female play the character. It just makes sense. But they weren't shoved aside either. They weren't even in the picture at all. People just invented that they should have been and then were mad that they weren't chosen anyway, which is an entirely imaginary scenario, which is just really weird, and a lot of people are getting really pissed off over it, and it's just I don't get why you did that to yourself at that point. I really don't get that. But let's take a look at the situation in a different way. Let's try to explore this a little. Let's say in some universe here where Hunter Schafer auditioned and somehow the director's okay, this is awesome, you're fitting the role pretty well, and they cast him as Zelda. What would that be like? So I was okay, well, have we seen this before? Do actors and actresses play the opposite gender? I didn't really think about it until this whole thing was going around. It's okay, let me take a look at what I've seen where this might have been a thing that happened. My first thought actually went back to something that did get canceled, that was going to be a thing, and that was where Scarlett Johansson was going to play as a trans man in some movie, and the LGBT community just was pissed off that a real trans person did not get cast in the role, and so she backed out of the project, and then that movie did not get made. I think it got made into a TV show now or something, but she would have been the main star in that movie, and she has a lot of audience and a lot of appeal and a lot of draw, even if she's playing a guy character or a trans character or whatever. She would have brought a lot to it probably, and they did not want that. They wanted just some other person to play the role that's actually trans or whatever, and that's why she backed down. And it's okay, maybe you would have benefited from her doing the part though. Maybe that would have gotten more attention to your causes or whatever, but I guess y'all made your decisions and that's what happened. I don't know. We didn't get to see what that would have been like, so another example is in House of the Dragon Season 2, where Philosophy Tube was cast to play the character Shariko Lohar, and I did not know who Philosophy Tube was, and I did not know who Shariko is. I don't know anything about House of the Dragon, don't know Philosophy Tube. I was watching it thinking, this character is either very masculine female or very feminine male, I'm not sure. Maybe the scenes and dialogue will help. Nope. They mud wrestle and they flirt, sort of. They offer to have wives shared, and I don't know. As I guess it could be a dude or a chick. I have no idea. And having it be unclear is kind of odd in this kind of show because that sort of thing is important. And I wasn't sure either if, like, yeah, this was supposed to be a guy character or not, because they did change, like, the Valerians to be more dark of skin, but that was a good narrative choice because that added a lot of drama. Like, it made the drama more clear and stuff in the show, so that was a good option. I looked this up, and apparently Philosophy Tube is a trans woman, so... And the Sharako was a man in the books. So they have a man that turns himself into a girl, cast as a female character that was originally a man in the books. A lot more gymnastics than I think was needed in this sort of thing. Left me a little more confused on what was going on. But I don't know. I would say that was a confusing casting choice, but it was mostly cringe because it was a YouTuber as well. You're trying to put in this type of show that's really high quality, just really... odd choice. Another example is with the Barbie movie. Hari Nef, I don't know how to pronounce the name, was cast as Dr. Barbie. This is a trans woman playing that character. I don't remember there being any huge marketing for this, so this, I think, was a better example of this sort of thing that I'm talking about here. With this, just being played off as one of the girls. There wasn't a huge push to have emphasis on the fact that they're trans. When they spoke, you can kind of tell a little bit more that one's the trans. If you're trying to pick them out, see which one's which. But that just seems like a better example of it, and it fit in the role, slotted pretty well. And yeah, it wasn't a huge deal. I was going to use Billy Porter from the Cinderella movie from a couple years ago as an example, but I didn't really watch that full movie, so I can't give my full opinion on that, though it does seem just like an odd casting, mostly because Godmother and you cast a dude, but whatever. I'm going to pick an obscure one for the next one that you guys probably haven't seen. I was at FYE and saw Michelle Rodriguez and Sigourney Weaver on the cover of a movie, and it was a cheap movie, so I bought it. It's like $5, so okay, I want to see these two. They were like an Avatar together. I mean, I've seen them both in their own things, and okay, let me check this one out, see how it is. Seems like an action movie with Michelle Rodriguez and Sigourney Weaver. It's apparently about, spoilers big time for you guys here. So Michelle Rodriguez plays as a male character in that movie. Supposed to be kind of an assassin, John Wick-like kind of person, I'll just say. And she does not make a convincing guy at all. She does make for a tough-looking woman, I suppose. Like, she does have some masculinity to her presence, essentially. But she doesn't, when she's playing a male character, you're supposed to believe that is a guy, that is a dude. It's no, and I think they really tried to. I think they even gave her a fake penis to be, banging some chick with. I don't particularly remember. I'm trying to have most of this movie not in my head, to be honest. But the plot to that is, that person ends up killing Sigourney Weaver's brother. I don't remember the character's name. Sigourney Weaver's brother gets killed. She gets revenge on Michelle Rodriguez by turning him into a chick. As revenge, you get turned into a chick now. I don't remember why. That was just what she chose to do to torture him, I guess. And then, but then Michelle Rodriguez is now a badass chick that's gonna get revenge on Sigourney Weaver, and that sort of becomes the plot of that movie. And she's supposed to be playing I'm a guy who, I'm a chick now, but I used to be a guy. It comes off really odd. I don't know for that type of a movie who you'd cast for these roles, but that was just an odd movie in general. And my point is, though, she did not make a convincing man, when she was supposed to be the guy. She did not make a convincing one, really. It was just the beard is really fake, the body, it just doesn't, that doesn't really work to pretend that you're a dude and the way you're I don't know, it just didn't work, really. There maybe could be people you can cast for a movie like that, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to return to the Zelda topic and wrap up the video from here. I still think, after going through all of that and looking at those movies and those choices and whatnot, that casting Bo Braxton as Princess Zelda makes the most sense, especially for Nintendo. They're doing well right now with their Super Mario movie. They've got their sequel coming out. They're doing Zelda. They're trying to get this stuff on a roll and do a really good job. I think that makes sense. Could you cast somebody like Hunter in a role like Zelda? Maybe, but it's probably best to not start with an established franchise, especially because the main character is like the character is an actual female, so people want to see that. In the future, if they've made like a whole bunch of different versions of Zelda movies, I don't think as many people would care if you threw in one like that. Like with the Cinderella example here, they've made like a dozen or so Cinderella movies, all telling the same story a different way, a little bit, different variations or things here and there. There's even a Black Cinderella one back in the day that I don't remember being bad, but I don't really remember half the Cinderella movies anyway that have existed, a whole bunch of them. So when they made the one from a couple years ago, they're just like, okay, weird, whatever, I guess. So it's like not impossible, but with established stuff, especially when you're trying to do new franchises right here, trying to get them going, like, you probably just want to stick to how the characters are. That's how most people want things to be. There's been so many people changing characters and making changes that are what feel unnecessary. So yeah, having a little less of that would be nice going forward. So anyway, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you later.